Hey guys, my name's Yvette and welcome to my DIY channel, and I hope that you guys are having a great day. So I wanted to share two Halloween air dry clay projects that I made. The first one is super easy and it's a Hocus Pocus wall hanging, and then the second one is a clay haunted house. And by the way guys, last year I made a bunch of Halloween DIYs. My favorite one that I made was the Hocus Pocus spell book, so I'll make sure to link them down in the description box if you guys want to check them out. But yeah, let's just get started. Okay guys, so for this Hocus Pocus wall hanging, I bought this outline on Etsy and I'll make sure to link it down in the description box if you guys want to use it. I printed it out to the size that I wanted my wall hanging to be, and now I'm going to use these as my stencils. Also guys, don't forget to add these little dots that I did to mine, because that's where I'm going to poke the holes so that I'm able to hang this up on the wall. So just roll out your clay and trace out Winnie's hair. Make sure you make these holes big enough to where you can fit some string through them. Blend out any rough edges with some water. When you like what you see, set these aside to dry for about 2 days.
5 minutes later.
Okay guys, so now that these are dry, I'm just going to sand these a little bit and then paint them. I'm going to seal these with some matte Mod Podge. Okay guys, so now to tie these all together, I'm going to use some of this like chain thingy that I got from Michael's. You could also just use some jute, and I'm going to cut out 3 small pieces from this. I'm also going to use some jump rings that are meant for earrings and a small keychain ring. And off camera, I'm going to spray paint these black. Okay guys, so I'm taking a jump ring and I'm going to attach the small keychain ring to it and the chain, since this is going to be for the top of our hanging. Taking another jump ring, I'm going to attach that to the bottom of that, and then I'm going to attach Mary to it. And it's basically the same process to attach Winnie and Sarah. Okay guys, so for this haunted house, I drew out the stencils myself. It's really easy. You just have to basically do squares and a triangle on top. So for the front of the house, I made mine 5 inches high by 5 inches wide, and then I folded it down the middle and went up about 2 inches from the top, and then just connected these points together, which was about 4 inches. And so this is going to be the stencil for the front and the back of our house. For this side, it's 5 inches high and the width is 4 inches, and this is for both of the sides of our house. And then for the roof, I did 4 inches and 3/4 high by 5 inches wide. And then I just sketched in some little windows, a door, and tiles on the roof. You could do that, or you could draw anything else you want. For example, this little moon you guys see here could also be like a bat or a witch's hat or a pumpkin. Anyways, we're gonna start out with the roof. So roll out your clay and trace out your stencil. And before you lift off your paper, make sure to also trace out all the little bricks on your stencil if you decided to do them like I did. Using a dotting tool, I'm going to trace out the bricks a little bit better into the clay. And remember guys, this doesn't have to be perfect because it's a haunted house, and the messier, the better. Here I'm blending some of this out with some water and going back in with my dotting tool to deepen the lines a bit more. I made sure to do 2 of these for both sides of my roof. Okay guys, so now we're going to trace out the sides of our house. Using my needle tool, I'm cutting out the windows. I'm blending this out with some water, and I went a bit overboard with the water. Here I'm cutting out some pieces of clay to look like long pieces of wood that I can attach to the sides of my windows, kind of to make the windows look like they're boarded up. The little lines you guys see me adding in right now was to make these look like wood, but in the end I didn't end up making them look like wood. I went with caution tape instead, so you can skip this part. Don't forget to do another one of these for the other side of the house. Moving on to the front of the house, trace out your stencil. I cut out little rectangles and added them to the sides of my windows to make them look like little shutters. And I made sure not to place them perfectly because you want these to look a little wonky since it's haunted. Okay guys, so if you know of any other things that you want to add to your haunted house, I would say to do that right now. At this point, I knew that I wanted to add like little ghosts or pumpkins, but I hadn't made up my mind, so I decided to let this dry and later on I would go back and do it. But if you know what you want, I would say to do it now. It's just gonna make your life so much easier. Also, don't forget to trace out the back of your house, and I left mine just plain, and then I let these all dry for about 2 days.
7:59 a.m.
Alright guys, so here's our house now that it's dry, and I'm just gonna sand the sides a little bit. First of all, I primed all of my pieces with white paint on both sides. The only reason that I used terracotta clay was because that was the only color that I had on hand. Otherwise, I would have used white clay, which would have made everything so much easier. Anyways, I decided to paint my house when all the pieces still weren't glued together because it would be easier, but you can glue your house together and then paint. It just depends on you. By the way guys, I used a dotting tool to help me write the go away on the caution tape. Now I'm going to seal these with Decor Art's triple thick gloss glaze. Okay guys, so now that everything's dry, I'm going to hot glue all of this together. And I'm making sure to add some more hot glue in the inside corners to make sure that this really sticks well, and it did. I didn't have to worry about this like falling apart on me. Right here, I'm also adding some more hot glue in the inside corners for the roof. Okay guys, so here's how our house is looking, and right here you can see where the glue is at, and if it really bugs you, you can fix this like I'm going to, but if it doesn't bug you, you can just be done with your house. So I made the house out of Jovi clay, but now I'm taking some creative paper clay because I know that this isn't going to crack when it dries up against the house. And I'm just taking a little bit of it and I'm going to shove it into those corners where you see the glue, and I'm just going to make sure to cover all of it. I also did the same thing on the other side. Okay guys, so once the clay dried, I painted it the same color as the rest of the house and I sealed it, and so now it just looks like one piece. I could have sanded it down a little bit to make it look a little nicer, but I was like, it's a haunted house, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then at this point, I also finally decided on what little figures I wanted on my house. So right here you can see that I added bats and a little devilish ghost, and then for the front of the house I added some more bats, a ghost, and a witch pumpkin. And then for the other side of the house, I added a vampire pumpkin and a bat. And then I just waited for that clay to dry, and then I painted in my little figures and sealed them. Okay guys, so that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and subscribe for more DIYs, and stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!